no se cuidan. Nunca pensé decir lo que te diré hoy. Baby, lo que no se cuida no es eterno. Rompiste todas las promesas de este amor. Y el verano rosa ahora es un invierno.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Serious Tejano here in the Kelly D Show. We have such an amazing guest. We have two guests here. One of it's going to be my co-host, special co-host, and we have the one and only out of Laredo. You guys know him, and he's been all over social media. An amazing songwriter. Mr. Pete Astudillo will be here with us today. Yes, you guys, you heard it right. Mr. Pete will be here with us today, and we're going to let you guys know who Mr. Pete is, his little journey of doing the music industry, what he's contributed to the industry as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you guys to my co-host, Ms. Brenda Blanco. What's up, Brenda?
Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to be here. I feel honored that to share the be a co-host to this amazing host, Miss Kelly D. She is knowledgeable in the everything that has to do with music. I got to spend a lot of time with her, and she does amaze me all the knowledge she has. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to obviously talk to the iconic Pira Studillo.
Yes, definitely. And you don't have to be kind. You don't have to say I'm that great.
Well, if
I
you're
didn't pay. I
if you
did
give
not
me the
pay her, guys.
$100 you promised me, then I have
Right?
to.
But no, guys. I'm not gonna let this guest wait any longer. If you guys know, Mr. Pete is here in the studio. So saludos to Mr. Pete Studio. Bienvenidos here to Serious Tejano, sir.
Pues, pues primeramente, sinceramente, gracias a las dos, a la comadre, mi comadre, we're compadres now. Y a Brenda and anybody out there watching, listening, en donde sea que estén, un saludo muy cordial. Muy contento de estar aquí, platicando un ratito y echando unas cuantas mentiras también.
Right? So, Mr. Pete, again, I want to take the time, agradecerte por estar aquí con nosotros. We always try to do our best we can with our industry and bringing, our established artists, our songwriters, our producers, and the new artists because unfortunately they don't really have too many platforms to be showcased, and we try to do that for them because they're the ones that are gonna keep going with our Tejano industry, right? So this is why we do what we do, and like I said, it's a pleasure of mine to have you here. And I'm really excited because you kind of are somebody I looked up to when I was younger. I did run into you when I was 10 years old. I first saw you in Fargo, North Dakota, Minnesota at the College Moorhead State, and you guys were using the cow print outfits. That's the first time I met the Selena y los Dinos. So, yes, it was amazing to meet you. I do have a picture, but unfortunately, our town had gone flooded and we lost everything. So, yes. So, but yes, you were what I remember. I was like, man, he's so talented. And then when I found out you were from Laredo, I was like, hey, you're just neighbor, just an hour away, right? So, it's amazing to know that there's so much talento in Laredo too. There's a lot of other artists that are from that area. So, I want to know a little bit. Now talking about that subject, how is it that you came about and doing the industry? Who influenced you, or how did you get yourself wanting to do Tejano or the music you were starting off when you were younger?
Well, thank you for your very kind words. And I'm sorry you lost your picture. We'll have to take another one of these
Yes.
days. I came from a very humble family. My family, like a lot of families back in the day and today still, it came from Mexico. Both my parents are from a little ranchito, un pueblito que se llama Tuzantlán, Guerrero, en el estado de Guerrero, Mexico, which is, I guess, when people talk about Guerrero, the place they immediately think is Acapulco. So it's in that area. Because if I tell you other little towns, you're not going to know. But it's a little ranchito. My parents were born there. Got married there. I had my first siblings there. My three oldest siblings were born there. But it's literally un rancho, man. There was no running water, no electricity. My parents didn't go to school. They were rancheros. And they came to Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas, which is the border with Laredo, Texas, looking for that American dream. And the rest of my siblings were born there. And by now you've realized I have a very big family. Este, so my four other siblings were born in Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas, and then finally, when my parents got their famous green cards, they jumped the border and came to work in a ranch here in Laredo, and that's where I eventually was born. I was born in a ranch, Las Palmas, right next to Laredo, and that's why I was, considered Laredo. But I had a very, I guess, humble beginning. My familia, they were, like I said, they were rancheros, so my parents did what they could do was continue working in that industry, which there was not many choices of what to do. So we became migrant workers. So from, probably since my birth up till I was about 13, 14, we used to go, como le decían en aquel entonces, al norte, los vamos a trabajar
Yes.
a la labor. And that's
Yes.
what I did. I worked in the beets, and the onions, cucumbers, potatoes in Idaho. And then we would spend 6 months over there, and then we could come back to Laredo, spend the other 6 months, go to school. My dad would continue to work. So I had very humble beginnings, but there was something that, as I can remember from a very young age, that music was so important to me. It just made me feel a certain way. It just made me happy even in the worst of times. I remember my mom would say, "How can you?" I'll be in the fields, literally sweating and hot, and the beats in the fields. So, and I'd be singing. Like, how can you be singing while you're in the field? And I never thought about it then, but my sisters would tell me that my mom would say that. And míralo, canta y canta el pelado. And el pelado. And later on, I realized that it was just something that just brought me so much joy, and even the environment that I was in was irrelevant, not irrelevant, but I mean, it made it a little better.
Yes.
So I always had that, and then we would sing in church, obviously, and that type of thing. My parents were very religious, and then in school, I went to migrant school, which was kind of bad, but I still managed to go to a music class, and that's where I would sing. Everybody was hating the class except me. And then I, went to high school and all of that, but we stopped being migrants in 76 and we went into the restaurant business.
Nice.
So that was like my junior high years. And we got into that very successfully due to my oldest brother that started, got into that business and then taught the family. So the whole family was put to get again to work as a family unit, but now in a restaurant. I was the dishwasher, a cook, a waiter, you name it. And I did that into my high school years. So I had a normal little high school years. And I thought, I'm going to be a restaurateur. That's what I'm going to do. That's what my family does.
Mhm.
And we were doing pretty well at it, actually. So, I mean, it was a good life. And, but like when I think when I hit about 20, I said, you know what, this music thing is really poking at me, and there was una espinita que había ahí. And at
Mhm.
that point, I was writing like little poems, little songs, nothing major, but I knew that I could express myself in poetry and in little songs, not complete songs, because I didn't have a musical background. My family doesn't come from a musical background. The friends that I hung out at the time, some of them had a couple that had rock bands, and I did love rock and roll like most kids at that time. This is the
Yeah.
'80s. So I grew up listening to U2 and Journey, Def Leppard and Zeppelin and Kiss and all of that. So I was a big rocker, still am.
Mhm.
But on the other side, I would listen to what my parents listened to because I grew up listening to like the music from Guerrero, which was kind of banda. But they didn't call it banda back then.
Mhm.
They call it tamborazo or música de viento. So I grew up with that. And then my older siblings were all into cumbias and stuff like that. Renacimiento 74, Enrico Tovar. And so I had a really weird little influence coming from every direction. And when I finally wanted to start singing or do anything, I was probably like in my 20s, early 20s. And I said, you know what? I gotta just give this a shot. I just gotta do something about it. But at the same time, I loved power ballads, but in Spanish. And I was a
Mhm.
huge Jose Jose fan, and he was like
Oh,
one of my biggest idols, Jose Jose. And so I would sing a lot of his songs when I kind of started singing, and I literally started getting involved in every. I finally got a music coach, and she because she heard me sing one time during my. I did go to college for a couple of years, and one time she heard me sing with the stage band that was at the college, and she goes, "No, I gotta give you lessons. You gotta come to my class. Have you ever taken lessons?" I go, "No, I've never taken any type of lesson." So she goes, "You know what? You need to get involved in anything and everything but they allow you to sing, whether it's community theater, at church, anywhere." And that's what I started doing. I started singing at church again. I started singing at church ceremonies. I think I even did a couple of funerals, believe it or not. Yeah. And then at that point, I did a couple of plays. I did The King and I, and I just got involved in anything and everything. And that's what I tell kids nowadays. If you really are serious, you got to get involved in everything and anything where you get an opportunity to expose yourself and get the
mhm.
experience. But during this time, I met a guy through a mutual friend that went on to become a very good friend of mine, and we formed the Bad Boys. Aquí en
Yes.
Laredo, and that was her first, I guess, little professional band, I guess, because I always say if you're getting paid, you're a professional. So at
Right.
that point, even though we were making peanuts, we weren't getting paid. We were making a little bit of money, and we were doing like everybody else does, singing covers, um, pretty much, backyard party, carne asada. And then my brother that got us into the restaurant business at that point had a catering company, and he had a reception hall at that time. So I spoke to him to let us practice in the reception hall. And he goes, "Hey, are you guys any good?" He goes, "Yeah, we're pretty good, man." And it was only a two-man band. And he goes, "I'm going to go listen to you at rehearsal one of these days." Because he had his restaurant and his catering company in the little reception hall next to it. So he went to go hear it. He goes, "Hey, you sound good." He goes, "You know what? Next time there's a couple or a quinceañera or a party that can't afford a real band, I'm gonna recommend you guys because you guys are super cheap, And so bottom line, we started getting a lot of work through him, my brother Rogelio, at his catering service, and
Wow.
and then the kind of word kind of got around, hey, these kids are good, young men are good, and they charge really inexpensive. It's only two of them. They don't have a lot of equipment, but they make a lot of noise. And so we started working consistently in Laredo, on the social side, not
Mm.
at clubs or bailes or anything like that. Until one day they hired us to do the grand opening of a flea market. That was our big gig.
Yeah.
We're gonna open up the flea market, and we went and played, and it was hotter than hell it could be in Laredo. About
Yes.
110 degrees, and it was just laminas over the space. So it was hot. And I think the only people that were listening to us was my mom and my grandma and Joe's mom and Joe's grandma. But the good thing that there was this remote control going on that day to promote the flea market, and there was a DJ there uh, that was named. His name is the Bird, El Locutor Número Dos. He was the one that was doing the live remote.
Mhm.
So on my break, I just went off because we had to do two sets. We
Mhm.
finished the first set, and just to kill time, I went and walked around the flea market, just see what they were selling. And he sees me at a distance, and he waves me down. And we weren't really good friends, but we knew each other because my brother of the restaurant and all of that. And
Mhm.
he goes, "Hey, Pete, what are you doing?" He goes, "Are you shopping?" He goes, "No, no, no, I'm playing. We have a little band over here, at the corner, and we're playing." He goes, "What do you do, man?" Like, I sing. He goes, "Really?" Because I didn't know you sang. Like, what? I don't think a lot of people know that I sing. And he goes, "I'm gonna go check you out right now. Are you gonna do another set?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, "I'm just gonna finish with a remote, and I'll go check you guys out." And I remember, for the people that don't know who the Bird is, he's a really popular DJ in Laredo, but he's the guy that went on to do the live album for Selena, the Costa Costa, the Frontera Frontera, and all of that. And
Yes.
he also did La Carcacha, La Carcacha. And then he went on to do some stuff with AB with the Cumbia Kings. So he's got an amazing voice. So
Mhm.
he went over to go check us out. And I remember him just standing there with his sunglasses on, and he just kind of nodding his head. We were playing. And when we finished, he came up to us. Hey, goes, you guys sound pretty good, man. He goes, you make a lot of noise for two guys. He goes,
Mm-hmm.
"Y se escuchan bien." He goes, why don't you play at the dances or at the nightclubs? Or he goes, I never seen you anywhere. You know, I just work with my brother a lot. He goes, then
Mm-hmm.
play. You know, you should be doing the dances. Dude, I already offered myself to everyone. I've
Mm-hmm.
gone talked to everyone. I've even offered myself for free, and they won't hire us because it's only two of you. What are you gonna do? It's gonna sound awful.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, you know what? I'm gonna help you out. And he goes out. There's a club, a disco at that time. This is the '80s. There was
Mm-hmm.
a disco named Roxy's, which was very popular. But on Tuesdays, they would do Tejano Tuesdays, and they would bring in, at that time, Ram Herrera was really popular. Gary Hobbs, Emilio Navaira, with David Garza, of course, at that time,
Mm-hmm.
Sombra, and stuff like that. So they would bring them in, and one night he goes, one day, because he told me, I'm gonna get you in there one day. And then one day he called me, he goes, hey, somebody canceled at the last minute. You guys want to do the gig?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He goes, you know what? It's just for exposure, pay you. You don't worry about it. It's all good. Did something happen there?
Yeah, you're
I,
good. You came back.
so yeah, man, we'll do it. Don't worry about it. You don't have to pay us. But since the band that was supposed to play canceled and we were kind of brought in as a replacement, of course, a lot of people wanted their money back. So a lot of people didn't go because nobody knew who the heck we were. But we went ahead and played. And so I think my mom went again, or maybe my siblings went. I don't even remember who went. And of course, some of the bar flies that are always there, no matter who plays. And but we had a great night, and the people from the management, because man, you guys sound really good, man. You guys sound really good for a two-man band.
Mm-hmm.
And so the night concluded, and then when the night ended, Bird, the DJ, goes, you know what? The managers really liked you, man. He goes, we want to bring you back when there's a big band playing, and that way people can see you. A lot of people, because he goes, you guys are really good. You do. We're there, man. And I don't want to say how long it took, but maybe a month or so. He remember him calling me up. He goes, hey, man, Selena's playing. He goes, y'all want to open up for her? Like, dude, of course. And at the time, Selena wasn't big. This is like 1988. But she
Mm-hmm.
had a recorded music already. She had a Dulce Amor and Dame un Beso and all of that. And of course, I knew who she was, even though I wasn't big. I really wasn't into Tejano music. I know people freak out when I tell them that. I knew who Little Joe was, and I knew who Mas and La Mafia were, but I really wasn't into Tejano music. But at that point, I was learning little by little. And of course, I knew who Selena was because she did very well in Marelo.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, the heck, we'll do it. He goes, there's no pain, man. We're just bringing you in to get you some exposure.
Yes.
And sure enough, they hired us to open up for Selena. And that's the night that we met. And that's where the story of our relationship with Selena Lutinos began.
Awesome. Not a lot of people, we just know based on the movies how the Pete came into the picture and how he connected with Selena. So a lot of it is what you're saying. There's more of a connection now. Now we kind of understand the storyline of the Pete Astudillo and Selena. And not a lot of people know that a lot of the musicians, like you said, a lot of us, the reason we're into all the music and we love music is a lot of us will migrate up, like how you said, we will go up north, work in the fields and stuff like that. And the only thing you had were either you're in the field working with the salon or whatever, and you're with the Walkman listening to music, and that's how we connect to the Tejano music.
Wait a minute. You had a Walkman? If you had a Walkman, you were fancy then. No, no,
Yes,
there
I
was
did.
no Walkmans que aquí ni que nada.
Yes, no,
Honestly,
actually, Mr. Pete, when we were working the fields, my dad had a small little radio like that. He would wrap it around his faja and have it hanging on the side of him, walking the surcos. And I was like, those are memories to us.
that
And
is okay. That I do believe that we did do, or we would put like a boom box, and we could only hear it when we would get close to the truck.
yeah,
Where
yeah,
all the stuff was there. But it
yes.
was a rough Like I said, I had a really humble beginning. My family, my parents did what they had to do, and they did what they could do. With the
Yes.
resources that they had, and I don't regret one bit. I know where I come from. I know what I did, and I think it's turned me into the person, the man that I am today. So I don't think
Yes.
it would change anything. Look, like I said, my parents did the best they could, and they did. I'm so grateful to them. And, I thank God that for my family and my parents ya no están conmigo, but I'm so grateful to them for what they did for me and all my siblings and the sacrifices that they did because my dad coming from where he came and my dad was fearless and I thank him and my mom. I think about them all the time and I say thank you for what they did for us.
Yes, definitely. And como dicen todos, if the parents don't teach you the values and what it takes to be where you're at, not a lot of us will be able to be as humble as we are, right? And that's where your traits come from. It's from your parents. This is why you're so humble and agradecido de todo, like whatever happens, they give you, and you've always been, giving, and it shows how you were brought up, and we thank you for being who you are, Mr. Pete, and the way you represent yourself, and to everybody that's ever made a contact with you, they always say the same thing. Nombre, es de barrio el Pete, like so.
I'm
Yes,
from the hood, man. I really am. I know you were talking about the movie doesn't represent so much. I was going back to what I had said earlier that the way when Joe and I came into the band, the series, the Netflix series did show a little bit more how
mm-hmm.
we met and how we came into the band, and then I started writing with Avi, and Joe came in as a keyboard player. But I
Mm-hmm.
always say like they always do a little Hollywood stuff in there to make it
Yes.
dramatic, because they portray me like I walked in there and I was being all I'll say it on my mom, like, hey, what's up? So where did this set up? And like, heck, it wasn't even anything. I was more like we were so intimidated just knowing that we were gonna open up for them. We were not cocky at all. We were just really scared of what was gonna happen that night, and so grateful that it would happen.
Yes.
It was a rough night. It was a rough day. A lot of obstacles. I won't go into it. It's too long, but there was a couple of times that Joe and I were like, dude, we're not even getting paid, man. Why are we playing? Why are we? Because they were like, well, bring down the equipment and take out the equipment. And no, you know what? You guys aren't playing. You load up your equipment and leave. And it was like, and they're like, no, bring it back and just don't do this and don't do that. And then literally, eventually, right before we were going to go on stage to perform before Selena, the bird, the DJ that I've been talking about, that the one that got us that gig, he goes, "Hey, dude, you guys aren't gonna go on right now." He goes, "What happened?" No, what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He goes, "Just Selena's gonna perform. He goes, when she finishes her set, and the thing is, there was two stages. There was the main stage, and then in front of the main stage, there was like a little mini stage where people would dance sometimes. So we
Ah,
took
okay.
that little stage over and put our stuff in there, not to be in their way. You never want to be in the way of the main band. You have to respect that. So we had set up our little stuff in the front of the big stage. So he goes, the moment Selena ends her set, you get on stage because you got like 15, 20 minutes. Are you serious? Go, yeah. Because that's what they want. So you go, don't ask any questions, just get on stage and do your thing. And we did. Selena played, and the moment she hit her last note, we were like on the side ready, and we jumped on stage, Joe and I, and we started playing. And the people got immediately were having a good time with us because we were playing popular music. What was
Mm-hmm.
hitting at the moment? Amor Querido, Ray Herrera, Juana la Cubana,
Uh-huh.
all the popular stuff. But later on, after we became friends with Latinos and everything, they said that when we started playing, because I don't think we made a very good impression on Mr. Quintaniano or on anyone for that matter. And because everybody was going like, "What do you mean a two-man band? Yeah, guy on the keyboards and the guy that sings, you know."
Right.
And so we didn't make a very good impression. And you can ask them if you want one day, but they said that when they hit their last note and we saw them walking out, we literally got on stage and started performing. And then later they told us that when they were leaving the club to get in their bus, they heard us and they started debating amongst themselves, like, is that them? It can't be them. That sounds too good to be them. No, it's a DJ. No, that's live. Somebody's singing live. No, and then they started kind of literally in the backs before they got into the bus and listening to the point that they came back into the club, and there was an office in the second floor with a little stairway that led up to the side, and they went up there to listen to us. And when they started hearing us, they were like, "These guys are pretty good, they're not too shabby." And they literally told the DJ, "Let it play longer." So they let us play longer, and that's when I guess their impression changed about us, or I don't know, maybe I don't know what they. I mean, I guess you would have to ask them one day. But to me, it just seemed like they were like, these guys are gonna sound horrible,
Right?
And Mr. Quintanilla was probably thinking the same thing. Maybe rest in peace, Mr. Q. But that's when it changed everything. Because then when we finished it up tonight, and we're picking up our little equipment, and they're doing the same, and everybody's gone, just the staff and us just left. AB came back in and like, "Hey man, you all sound great." And Ricky and Jesse Barra, I think was the guitar player at the time, and even Selena and Suzette, they're like, "Hey," he's like, "I sound really good." And then I think at some point Abraham, but I don't think I know. At some point Abraham came back in. He was there. "So who are you?" "The MP, this is Joe, we're the Bad Boys. Because you met us earlier, remember?" "Remember?" And he goes, "Well, who's your manager?" "We don't have a manager." "Who's your booking agent?" "We don't have a booking agent." "So who does your things? Who represents you?" "It's just him and I. That's it. We do everything ourselves." He goes, "It's just you guys." "Yep, pretty much." And I think he paused. He goes, "You want to work?" "Yeah, I do. You, sir, I do." And he handed me a card. He goes, "Call me Monday." And that was how our relationship began.
Wow. What a story. What a story, right, Brenda? What did you think about that?
Well, I think the music industry can be so tricky. You have amazing talents, in little clubs and bars and, little venues playing, just like you describe yourself, two people, two people band, and I think, that if we were to pay attention, there's a lot of talent hidden, in these little places where nobody gets a chance, nobody gives them a chance. And the fact that had the honor of being heard by the one and only, Mr. Quintanilla, and of course Selena and the band, you were at the right place at the right time.
Yes. Yes.
So yes, but
You said a mouthful. The right place at the right time, and thank God. I think we were as prepared as we could be, because we were prepared. Because I always make a joke that Joe and I. The thing is, when I say a two-man band, so just people get an idea. There was a really famous two-man band in Tejano back in the day. Joe Reveles, the dudes. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. There might be a lot of, but pretty much you're working with drum machines and keyboards, and it sounds like a band, but it's just him playing everything and me singing. But the thing is, I would always say that we were the best rehearsed band with no work. We would rehearse every night, literally. We would rehearsing. So you said really something that's so true. Sometimes we don't get an opportunity. Sometimes you don't get that opportunity because it's the industry, it's the business. Somebody doesn't want to listen to new bands, or they don't have the time, or whatever you want to call it. But what they heard is we were prepared, thank God, we were prepared enough to make an impression.
right.
Yes.
And that was what put our foot in the door. But it was, being prepared. But you're right. Sometimes you have to be at the right place at the right time. It's a lot of things. It's luck.
Right.
The right place at the right
But
time, being prepared. Like I said, that day there was at least 2 or 3 times that we were almost like, "No, dude, yeah, let's go home." And we didn't. We said, "No, okay, let's wait. Let's see this through. A ver qué pasa. It's gonna be a good night." And we would like look at the positive side of things. And thank God we did, because that night changed my life and Joe's life forever.
Forever.
And I would like to think that we changed their lives as well. And
Of course.
it was a meeting that if it wouldn't have happened, I mean, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that Selena wouldn't have the success. Of course she would have. She was amazing. But it would have been different songs, maybe. Would have been something else. I don't know. I mean, but you're right. Sometimes we just need that opportunity that we don't get
Yes.
all the times.
Yes. Well, we're very thankful that Mr. Quintanilla, was there that day and he heard you, and you were, you're one of pioneer in the Tejano industry. And we, a lot of the times I feel like there are people trying out there, but you said something that is a key. That's key for everything in any type of business. You were prepared. Like you were serious. You were take whatever you were doing that seemed so little, you were so serious about it that you were showing up every single day to rehearse. You were showing up to make sure that even if it was a two-man band, that you guys sounded fantastic and that people would, so I think that's a great, great way to open your doors for success.
Well, thank you so much. And I told the the young people or anybody for that matter, you have to be prepared because when that moment comes, if it ever does come, you gotta not be afraid to take the moment, grab the moment, but be prepared. Be prepared
Hmm.
as much as you can. And I know it's hard. It's easier said than done because I had a normal job. Joe had a normal job. We would be practicing at 10 at night. We go, ya terminamos, okay, let's practice for an hour or two. Okay, órale. So it wasn't like we were, dedicating ourselves 100% to that. I was going to college still a little bit at the time. I had a job with my parents in a restaurant. He had a job. So you just need to be prepared as much as you can and take it serious. That's another key thing you said. You got to take it serious. It wasn't like we're going to get there, let's drink some beers, it's a party. No, no, we were there to work. It
Right,
was a
right,
serious
right.
moment, and we took it serious.
Yes.
Yes. And again, Mr. Peter, on doing all that preparing and everything like that. At the time, were you already writing music when you were doing all that stuff?
Yeah, I started writing from a very young age, like in my teen years. I want to say like around 13.
Mm.
And but I would write poems. I would write little poems to my mom and stuff like that. And the love of my life at that time, my mother. And I started having like little noviecitas, como quieras llamarle, when you became a teenager, like a normal
Yeah.
teenager, puppy love, and I would write little things, but I didn't have enough knowledge to structure something. I would write little verses and I would write them down on pen and paper. Actually, I still do the same thing today, believe it or not. I write down my stuff on pen and paper. I go old school once in a while. But I didn't have enough knowledge to really structure a whole song. I remember I started trying to do songs, and then when I met Joe, he even though he's younger than me, he had been in the music industry longer. So I picked up some little things from him, and then I would study the songs that I like. Okay, they have a verse here, just try to get myself as knowledgeable as I could. Back in the day, there was no Google, there was no internet. If you wanted to study something like that, you had to go either to school or to somebody that knew the business and get mentored through them. And like I just did what I could and kind of like uh, learned by my mistakes. But I knew that I could. I knew that I could structure things. That I just didn't know how to like really do it. And I really think when I finally started playing with Joe, because we played for about 2 years, a little bit over 2 years, and then we met Sel, and then that kind of went in that direction. But when I met also when I met AB, I started learning a lot from him and Ricky Vela also, and they're about my same age, but they had been doing it for a lot longer than I did. So I started picking up from Ricky Vela. If you don't know him, is No Me Queda Más, ahora Chico el Apartamento 512, Si La Quieres, him and I wrote together Estúpido Romántico for Grupo Más. So he's an amazing songwriter. And of course, AB, my
Yes.
compadre that I wrote most of my songs with, and I was kind of being a sponge and learning from him, from Ricky, and from everyone, to be honest with you, on the band, because they had a lot more knowledge than I had.
And I was going to ask you that, when you were talking about when you were little, and how you started gravitating towards music, because I think when the gift is there, it kind of calls you, it
It's a
calls you.
calling.
But my question to you was going to be that, when did you know that you actually had a song in your hands?
I had songs in my head even before I knew how to put it all together. I just knew what I had in my head. And like I said, I started with poetry. And then I
Right.
started with messing with melodies. And I go, oh, that sounds kind of cool. But then I didn't have enough knowledge to put it together. And then, like, when I met Joe, I picked up a bit more from him, like, oh, cool, maybe we can do this. And then, of course, he would get on the piano, like, okay, no, we can do this, and we can do that. And I just started picking up a little bit more. And then when I eventually started with Los Dinos, that was kind of like my college there.
Boot camp.
And I graduated to that, and I learned tons from AB on structuring songs, tons from Ricky, and I was doing a lot of lyric work though, because at the beginning, when I started working with AB, I think the first song we wrote together was Besitos, and he would try to use, because he said, because I don't think I'm saying anything and nobody knows. Their English, their Spanish was not very good. All of them, Suzette, AB, Selena. So he didn't know how to express himself in Spanish. And of course, he was like, okay, I kind of want to say something like this, or I want to go in this direction. And then I go like, you mean like this, like this, like this, like this? Yes, yes, like that, like that, like that. So there was a really cool chemistry between us.
Right.
And then we kind of, as we worked more and more and got to know each other more and more, there was a connection that I kind of knew what he wanted. And he like would feed me melodies. Okay, so there was really good chemistry there.
Yes.
And then, of course, little by little, experience and doing it over and over, and you learn from other people, like I said. And then I started forming my own songs, and like, okay,
Right.
all that idea I had, okay, cool, I can go here now. Okay. And then and it just kind of shaped me into to the writer that I am today. I'm not a very traditional writer per se. I kind of write my melodies and my lyrics at the same time in my head. If it's, most people get a piano or a guitar. And I think what helps me is that the fact that I can sing, so I can do the melody and do the lyrics at the same time. It's not a very traditional way of writing, but it's worked for me. And then I've been able to collaborate with AB, who's an amazing musician, with Joe, the same thing, with Ricky Vela, an amazing musician and songwriter himself. And even Selena. I wrote some songs with Selena. A lot of people don't know that I wrote some songs. I wrote Enamorada de Ti, Amame, and the big one, Bidi Bidi Bum Bum.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So, Mr.
But you're always learning. I mean, even to this day, I listen to music that I like, or even music from the past. Like, oh wow, that was really cool what they did that. And I'll go to one of a musician friend of mine, or like, what did they do here? What was the transition here? Oh, they did, and they get all technical on me. Well, they did this, like, no, they tell me like, dímelo raza style, what did they do? But it's one of those things. I think that's the beauty about music. You really never stop learning or being excited about it, or finding new ways of expressing yourself. I mean, everything that's been written from the beginning of time, I guess, or since music has existed, it's all been told. I mean, it's either in love or you're heartbroken. That's the main, for the most part. And it's been said already. Everything has been said. There's nothing, I don't think, that hasn't been said. So the key, at least in my opinion, my humble opinion, is how do I see the same thing that's been said a million times, just a little different? que alguien dijera, oh, I never thought about it that way. Like the song Estúpido Romántico that I wrote with Ricky Vela. When I started like, well, I want to do the song name is Estúpido Romántico. Like, dude, you can't say estúpido in a song. Why not? I mean, why can't we say it? I mean, you're a stupid in love. I mean,
Mhm.
you're a stupid romantic. The phrase
It sure makes you feel that way.
yes, and I think sometimes when you're especially when you're young and you fall in love for the first time, you're like, oh my! I mean, you think even the air smells different, and the sun's a little brighter.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, the whole concept of that song was it was a conversation. It's going to be a conversation of a young man or a young woman. It doesn't matter. That's in love for the first time, like they've never been in love. But like I'm talking, like you can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't do anything. Type of love, and that person's having a conversation with a person that has been heartbroken, like they've never been heartbroken before.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
and, and he's telling them and the guy that's been heartbroken is telling you stupid romantic, what do you know about love? You've never been heartbroken. So that's the whole idea, but it's still back to the same thing. It's about being either in love or heartbroken, and it's been said a million times. We just did a little different.
Right.
Yes, yes. Mr. P, I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to say saludos to our fans. They're actually connecting and they're enjoying it, loving it. We have a lot of people joining in. Saludos, everybody that's joining in. Thank you guys for being here. To a lot of musician friends that are on here. Saludos. So I have a question for you, Mr. P, that they are asking and they want to know. This is from George Vincent. Vincent. He asked, when you wrote Como la Flor, Bidi Bidi Bam Bam, Amor Prohibido anthems that made Selena immortal, but you were there in the room when those songs were just ideas. What's the one moment in the studio with Selena that still replays in your head today that you've never told anyone because it was too personal to share until now?
Oh my God! Those, I mean, all those songs. I was incredibly lucky and blessed to be part of them. They all happened at different times. Como la Flor is a song with a lot of a really long span because even before I even came in the band, AB had an idea in his head that he wanted to write a song about a flower, and that was it. And he would always say that I don't know if you guys have been to a dance lately or back in the day. And back in the day, I mean, back not too long because you guys are very young. Uh, but there's always these kids or women or men selling these plastic flowers with a little blinking light on it.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, le llamó la atención ahí because I want to write a song about a flower, about just about a flower and a flower and a flower. And he always had that in his head. And he had told me about it, but there was really nothing that happened. And then one day, I think we were in West Texas or something. And he jumps out of the shower like, dude, I got an idea. I got an idea. And he tells Joe, get the keyboard. He goes, do something like this or, like that or for a melody. And he just, kind of, and he starts saying, that's like como la flower song. And then from there, we started talking, kind of ideas or concepts. And he goes, well, it's about, the love is never ending. He goes, but yeah, but it's not never ending. Love's gonna die, sometimes. So which way do we go? So I kind of went in the direction of how a flower dies. Those don't die, the plastic ones, but
No.
real flowers, they do die. And that's what happened to some situations. So I went more in that direction about a flower representing the dying love that once was there. And also it had to be very about young love. About we always had to be very careful when we wrote for Selena because she was very young. A lot of people forget because of what she did or what she represented at the end of her career. But when I met Selena, she was about 16 or 17. She was a young. She was a teenager. So when we would write for her, it had to be about young love. It had to be about puppy love. I mean, it had to be about serious, but in your mind, it's serious, but it was very young love. And I kind of started thinking like, well, if her heart was broken, how would Selena act? I mean, I started thinking all of this. How you get, and I knew that she's such a generous soul and such a beautiful woman, such a beautiful young woman. And in my head, I was like, I bet you she wouldn't even be mad. She would probably say, you know what? If I can't give you what you want, you need to go find it with somebody else. As opposed to most Mexicans, like, vete mucho a la you know. And I was thinking to myself, I think she would be more generous and say, you know what, I can't give you what you're looking for, so I'll let you go, even though I'm dying here, my heart's breaking, but I'll let you go so you can find what makes you happy. And that's what the first line of the song, yo sé que tienes un nuevo amor, sin embargo te deseo lo mejor. Who the hell says that? Yo sé
Right.
que tienes un nuevo amor, así que te me vas mucho a la, you know? It's not, I wish you the best, but I just figured Selena would have, maybe she would have said that, you know, because she was such a beautiful human being. Or maybe not. Maybe she would have been the total opposite. But in my head, that's the story that I created about somebody being so generous with their love that they're willing to let the person they love go since they didn't find in them what they needed. And that's the whole
Mm.
concept of it. Again, nothing out of the ordinary. It's the idea of, you know, that happens to a lot of us. You know, you fall in love and somebody falls out of love, and vice versa. A veces queremos a la gente que no nos quiere y viceversa. A veces los quiere la gente que no queremos de esa manera. And that's just
Mm.
kind of
Pete,
the
I
idea.
have a question for you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think find it so interesting what you're saying because as a songwriter, if you're writing for someone, it has to make sense to them. It
It's got
has
to make sense and it's got to be real.
exactly, and it has to apply to the moment of their life, whatever they're living, right? But um, do you think love is a choice or love is unpredictable and it just happens?
Oh no, love's unpredictable. I mean, it's a choice that we don't have. I mean, if you fall in love, you fall in love, and that's why people fall in love with the wrong people sometimes and put up with things that they shouldn't. And that's why we fall in love with the people that we shouldn't love, and vice versa. And sometimes, you know, some people love us so much, you know, and you don't reciprocate, you don't feel the same. And you even like, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? This is a good person, and she's probably a beautiful person. ¿Por qué no me siento de esa manera? Y esta cachancluda que me trata de la fregada, ahí ando detrás de ella.
Yeah.
And you know, they say, ¿te gusta la mala vida? Or, but no, I mean, besides your family, it's really hard to choose who you love. And you know, when love hits you, it hits you. And then it hits you at different ages when you're a teenager, when you're falling in love for the first time and 14, 15 years old, and they break your little heart and you literally think your world is over at that time.
Right.
And even though
I
people on
think
the
at any
outside
age.
people on the outside might think it's cute or funny, but you're really in your heart, you're dying.
Right,
So
right,
it's real, even though we know it's not the end of the world, but they feel it's the end of the world. And
right.
it's got to be real. And I always try to be real. I try to put in also a lot of my experience. I've had, you know, bad relationships. I've had really good relationships. I've broken hearts before. They've broken my heart before. I loved the wrong person, and vice versa. So I try to take from my own personal experience because it's got to be real, because that's the only way it connects. If it's
Right.
real, it's from a real place. You know, we do make up some things. We're writers. You know, our imagination goes, you know, uh, takes off on us sometimes. But as a writer, you got to keep it real, so you can connect with the people listening, because for the most part, you're gonna touch some hearts out there, and like, oh my God, that's my story, that song, that's, and I always
Exactly.
and I always tell people that that's probably the biggest compliment that I've gotten in my life as a writer, is when people come up to me, and it's happened many times, thank God, that people go, oh my God, is that song you did? It's like you wrote it for me. It's just for me.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that's what you want to hear. You want to connect at that level.
Right. And then another thing I was gonna ask is, well, as songwriters, we are very emotional. Like you go through those stages with very high, emotions of love and hatred, and those emotions, and then you have your very lows, and then you have the mid, where I don't care anymore, right? But as a songwriter, how have you navigated your personal experiences, putting them on paper? Do you do it before you are completely out of that situation already, or you do it during, or what is the timing if you write a personal experience?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Sometimes I've gone through things in my life. I mean, I'm older now. I've gone through a lot, and I get been that I've been through something, and I feel a need to write it down, or something that happened, or something that was said to me, or something in that last moment that I felt, and I feel the need to express it. And
Hmm.
sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I'll go back and like, oh wow, so that's what I was feeling, or that's what I was thinking, or that's what she was feeling or thinking. And then I recreate something. But for the most, I try to take as much as I can from my real experiences, and put them into a song that hopefully will be relatable to a lot of people. And
Hmm.
like I said again, in this case, we were writing for Selena, a very young woman. And I'm
Hmm.
me writing as a man is a little different. Well, it's kind of not that much different. Because I'm incredibly emotional, and I think that's the songwriter in me. I think I feel a little bit more than other people feel sometimes, or the fact that I can express myself a little bit more.
Yes, I totally agree. Totally agree.
So
Yeah.
it's just I guess I'm a bit more sensitive. I guess
Yes.
maybe to
Yes.
when I hear something like I've heard things in the past before where somebody's having a conversation and I hear something, I'm literally tearing up and everybody's like laughing, like, what the heck? Did you hear the same thing I heard? You know? And it's just maybe we just grasp things a little differently or feel it a little bit more or just take it more personal. I don't know what it is.
I
Because
don't know what it
we're a
is
bit more
with me,
sensitive.
Pete, but I cry a lot lately. Like ask Kelly, I cry all the time. But I don't know what it is that I think age also makes you feel deeper,
Hmm.
because and in the process of writing, I myself, when I write, I'm crying, I'm feeling it, and I think that's the beauty of it, that we have the outlet, you have the outlet, of expressing it. But then you have the audience that doesn't have that outlet, and it takes a song that you wrote so that they can connect and get in touch with their emotions,
We become their voice. We say what they couldn't say, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
And that's what they
absolutely.
always say. It's like when you sing that song, it's like that's for me. That was the one. Everything you're saying, and that's the most beautiful compliment anybody can give you.
And then before I pass it to Kelly, because you said something that I think it's very, very interesting, very, very interesting. But there have been historically amazing male songwriters that sing as if or that write as if a woman was writing. You know,
Yeah.
there's like, for example, Lupita Alessio, that sang Ese hombre que tú ves ahí,
Sí,
you know,
sí.
y lo escribió un hombre.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you're writing for yourself, but it is so interesting to me that there are men that get so in touch with how women feel, and they write something amazing.
Their feminine side. Yeah.
Or they saw their mom, go through stuff,
Yeah.
you know like you were saying, the thing of, you, for example, your mom was your first love, and you connected with her and her emotions, and then you probably wrote a lot of what you saw in her.
Oh, definitely. And if you think about it, all the songs that Selena did, they were written by men. They were, I mean, I'm trying to think. Besides the Rocío Durcal songs that she sang, they were written also by a guy, Juan Gabriel. I mean, so
Exactly.
Rocío sang them, but they were written by Juan Gabriel because she did Costumbres, Enchitera Si Lo Quieres, which was written by Juan Gabriel.
Right.
All the other songs were written by AB, myself, or Ricky Vela, and there was a couple of other guest writers throughout the years. But for the most part, all her songs were written by men. And I never, I mean, not that it didn't dawn on me, but now that I say, like, I wonder why they never asked a woman to write a song, being that she was a young woman, but, or maybe they, I don't know, but all of her music was written by men. Ricky Vela, A.B. Quintanilla, and myself. And like you said, I said she did write some stuff. We did Biri Biri Bama, Amame, Enamorada de Ti. But I'm talking about an outsider. Like, but it was all men.
I just think it's amazing. It's amazing the talent, that men have and put into words what women are feeling. Yet they make women go through stuff and then they write about it.
Well, there you go. Well, like when we did La Gargacha, I mean, that's a total male, female. Because some of the songs you can take in both, like Como La Flor, it can go either way. But like the song like La Gargacha, man, it's for a woman. I wrote it like that for a woman. But it's kind of cool. I never thought about it too much. Like I said, I was aware of it, but now that I say, like, oh, it was mostly men that only men wrote her music.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So Pete, talking about already with the Selena, now to your career, the songs that you've written and done, like in Entrégate a mí, Vas a llorar, Como te extraño, and then Complemente, Enamorada, like all those songs are all written by you?
Not all of them. I co-wrote a lot of them along again with AB and with Ricky. Entrégate a mí, yes, and porque le gusta bailar cumbia, Perdóname, Vas a llorar, yes, I wrote all that. Completamente Enamorados, I don't know who wrote that, but it was a song that was done by Cheyenne. I'm sure you guys know Cheyenne, the Puerto Rican.
I know Cheyenne.
Most women know who he is. Most women like him a lot. And I used to love his music. I still do. And I love that song. We would always do like one or two covers, even on Selena's albums. We did covers once in a while. Like the Juan Gabriel songs, like the Si Lo Quieres and like Costumbres.
Iconic,
So I wanted to do that song, and we did it, but no, Entrégate a mí, Vas a llorar, porque le gusta bailar cumbia, then Como te extraño, of course, Como te extraño, and all. I wrote those with Ricky, no, mostly with AB. With AB, yeah. We wrote most of the stuff with AB.
Yes. So to our people are asking, wanting to know, what did Pete sound when he was getting his career started to what he's writing now? I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of a song, which is Entrégate a mí. And then we'll talk a little bit. You already talked about it. And then we'll lead off to what you've written now, which is El Ritmo Se Acabó, which is another song, kind of tribute to Selena, right?
It's not kind of, it's a complete tribute to Selena and a gratitude to the fans.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and play Entrégate a mí, a little bit of it, and then we'll jump into El Ritmo Se Acabó.
Sure.
Vayas esta noche, que mi amor te voy a dar. Entrégate con besos, caricias y suspiros. Yo te voy a hacer feliz. Entrégate a mí. Entrégate y quédate, quiero sentir tu cuerpo junto al mío, junto al mío, y quédate y quiéreme caricias, tus suspiros, yo te voy a hacer feliz. Entrégate a mí. Entrégate y quédate. Quiero sentir tu cuerpo junto al mío. Junto al mío. Entrégate y quiéreme. Te quiero dar mi amor y mi cariño. Mi cariño.
El ritmo se acabó y el mundo lloró. Las flores se secaron, se marchitaron de tanto dolor. Y nada es igual desde que tú no estás. Y aunque pasen los años, como te extrañamos, tu voz sin igual. En nuestros corazones vivirás tu imagen, tus canciones brillarán hasta el fin del tiempo. Te seguiremos queriendo. En nuestros pensamientos siempre estás. Y lo que un día fue un sueño no morirá y seguirá viviendo en cada nota y recuerdo que nos dejaste atrás. Y se vale llorar. El ritmo se acabó y una flor lloró. Después de tanto llanto, ahora es un canto de amor e ilusión. Y nada luz igual desde que tú no estás. Y aunque pasen los años, como te extrañamos, tu voz sin igual. En nuestros corazones vivirás tu imagen, tus canciones brillarán hasta el fin del tiempo. Te seguiremos queriendo. En nuestros pensamientos siempre estás. Y lo que un día fue un sueño no morirá y seguirá viviendo en cada nota y recuerdo que nos dejaste atrás. En cada nota y recuerdo que nos dejaste atrás. En las fotos y recuerdos que nos dejaste atrás.
Saludos again, guys. What a great song, Mr. Pete. I mean, such amazing. The way you write, the way you do your music, it's so inspiring. I really love that song.
Thank you so much.
I love that you put the whole, pues it's true, right? They only leave us fotos y recuerdos, right? Especially when somebody passes. So
Yeah, I'm sorry. You were saying, I'm sorry?
no, it's like for the people that ever lost anybody very close to them, that a lot of us relate to it, because I lost my brother about almost 10 years ago, and listening to that song gives us more strength to keep going with life. And I'm glad people like you and that write music like that too, for us to be able to keep going with our daily life and just keep looking at their photos and todos los recuerdos que siempre los dejaron, hearing that music soothing us to be able to keep continue with life.
No, that was the whole idea behind this song. I wrote it last year, early 25, early 25, beginning of 25, and the, I had thought about writing something like 30 more than years later after Selena's passing. Because when we did Como Te Extraño, we did that in 1996. We did it a year after her death. But I
Mm-hmm.
kind of wanted to write something, and it kind of everything kind of fell into place. I wanted to write something like for the new generation of fans. I know. I mean, I know they like our old stuff and they listen to it, of course, and they appreciate it. But I wanted to say thank you in a certain way. Say thank you for keeping her memory alive. Thank you for after
Hmm.
30 years, you're being incredible fans and you're incredibly loyal to her, to the band, to the music. And it just happened that they had asked me to go do a big campaign in Miami for they were going to do a bunch of shows for her and stuff like that. And they said, "Do you have any? Have you written anything for Selena Lelia?" You know what? I haven't. Because could you write something for her? Yes, I could. And they were literally, well, can you do it? Like, we want you to bring you like in a couple of weeks. Like, hey, wait a minute, settle down. And and they were like, they already had asked me to do something, but then they want me to add the song, the new Selena song. And they go, I don't know if I can write something like this. It's gonna come naturally. It just doesn't.
Hmm.
I can't just invent things. Entonces me acordé, like, you know what? I remember I wrote something down on a note a while back. Dije, let me see if I can find it. Y si lo encuentro and I feel something, maybe we can do something new. And I went and looked, and I did. El ritmo se acabó y el mundo lloró. I had written that down. And when I
Wow.
said it, I'm like, oh man, I boom, 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 boom. Like, it's kind of getting like flashes. Like I guess I can. And then that's when I started writing the song. And I wrote it pretty quick. And I got in the studio and we went and did it an acoustic version for the promotion that they wanted to do in Telemundo and Miami. But when I got back, this was like early 2025. I want to say like because it was for her anniversary. So it must have been around March that time. But when I got back from finishing that, you know what? I need to do this song, but Chris has to be in it, man. Chris has to be in it. So I reached out to Chris, and I know it's a very sensitive subject for all of us, but for him in a different manner, of course. He was the husband. And I kind of just brought it up very organically, I guess, or very. And then I told him, I like to show you something, and then we talked about it. Would you play on it, man? He goes, let me listen to it. And he listened. He goes, yeah, man. Of course, I love to do that. And of course, we brought him in, and he did the guitars on it and everything, and it just came together. And it, I mean, I love this song. I mean, I think not because it's my song, more than anything because of what it represents.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like I said, it's a gratitude to the new generation of fans that have been responsible for keeping Cell's music, those Dino's music, our music alive. And I just wanted to do that for them too. And of course, to remember everything that Selena represents for all of us.
Yes, definitely.
Do you I was going to ask you this, I know, sometimes you get the lyrics, and you were explaining earlier how sometimes it's just pieces, right?
Mhm.
And the creation of all your music, you've had so many songs that have been iconic to the Tejano industry. How would you say we can keep relevant as songwriters, and even in the as Tejano artists? How do we keep relevant in a world of Tejano that is consistently evolving?
Well, I just think you keep relevant by writing what you feel and really, really. I mean, we all start from somewhere. we're not gonna ask a beginning songwriter to write or maybe he will or she will, but you have to let them evolve, and which is what I did, and I think most of us do that. That way, you evolve, you learn, you grow, you become a sponge, and you learn from the people around you. But the only way we evolve to it is also from the younger writers or the young musicians or younger singers to find a little mentorship from the older ones, like in my case, me or anybody else around you, and try to really learn your craft, whether it's singing, writing, being a musician, and really just keeping at it, keeping at it. I really wish I could tell there's a formula, and that's the
Yeah.
tricky part about the arts. That's the tricky about music and anything that's creative. I mean, it's hard. There's a lot of music. I'm gonna give you an example. This song that you all just played right now, El Primo Se Acabó. This is one of my favorite songs that I've ever written in my life. Of course, the subject matter has a lot to do with it. I think it's really well put together. I think it was produced really well. I got incredible musicians in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, it didn't do very well.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
I wish I asked myself
Right.
that. I mean, Como Te Extraño was a #1 hit on Billboard. It won every imaginable award. And I love that song as much as this one. I think they're different. This one's, like I said, incredibly well produced. And that's what I'm saying. Just because I'm Peter Astudillo and I got Chris Pettis playing next to me, there's no guarantee because this was not a hit. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, at least what the industry says is a hit. You
Right.
know, a
Right.
lot of people that hear it like, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful! It's so beautiful." But why didn't it become a successful hit per se? And I mean, did that reflect on me? Well, it should reflect on me because I wrote it and sang it, but I didn't do anything. I think weird or anything different. I used what I think is my formula, and then sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that's just
Correct.
what I'm trying to say is like, don't do not become discouraged or don't become get blame yourself like, oh my God, I wrote a lousy song. But sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I
Right.
don't I don't know why. And
Right.
then dude, there's some songs in the past that I've written that are so like simple, like porque le gusta bailar cumbia, porque le gusta bailar cumbia, ti, ti, ti. And when we wrote it, like that's not gonna do anything, and it became a big hit for me, like my first big hit.
Right.
So it's like I really wish there was a formula,
Yeah.
that we could say why this one and why not this one. And like I said, I use myself as an example, like I'm saying like this one didn't do anywhere near like Como Te Extraño, and I think it's well put together. I think the subject matter is amazing. You had great musicians, but nonetheless, no sé.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
we keep trying. My
Right.
message to you is we keep trying, we keep learning. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're somebody like me that's been doing it for 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
and we try not to become discouraged or taking it too personal, and just okay, learn from it. Okay, maybe I'll try something else, or maybe I'll go this direction, but just keep trying. There's a lot of sayings out there, and like you're what is it, you're never gonna miss the shots you don't throw, or stuff like that, but it really is the truth. And I was looking at I said this the other day. I probably said it all wrong. I probably said it wrong again, but some of the biggest minds in the world, your Einsteins and Michael Jordan, and they said, Einstein. He goes, but you think he's a brilliant man? He's one of the greatest minds in the world of all time. And they said, you know what? He had I'm making stuff up. I could be wrong. Because he had 600 patents of things that he patented and created light and electricity. And it's
Right. Right.
amazing. Yes. He goes, you know how many he submitted? How many? Like 3,000. So why didn't they 600 work and the other 2,400
Yeah.
didn't?
And most songwriters have
So my point is,
1,500 songs.
Monday?
Digo, most songwriters have 1,500 song, and then it's one that, you know,
And that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
You just keep trying. You
right.
keep at it. Learn, and I always say learn, even at an older age. You can always learn that. You don't stop learning, and I think the moment that you're not excited or like me when I start writing a new song or I get in the studio or I'm starting to create, I almost feel like a kid, like with a new toy. And
Yeah.
I know it sounds corny or cheesy, but it's the truth. I'm excited about it and like, oh my God, we can put this and we can do that. And you're like, you're almost like a little kid
Yeah.
in Christmas. And then I usually do my recordings, like I said, I write them down and then I'll do like a little acapella thing, horrible, the most part, just like a rhythm behind me. And then I'll go back once we finish the project and I'll play, okay, let me play the first time I did it and now let me play it now. And you see that transition, that journey that took you there.
Hmm.
I still get excited about it. I still
Right,
feel like
right.
a child. So you cannot lose that those creative juices or that
That passion
childlike
and correct. Yeah.
emotion of being excited of doing something.
Hmm.
Because I think once you lose that, then it's just gonna be it becomes a job. And there's
Right,
nothing
right,
in
right.
the job because we have to pay the bills, and stuff like that. And
Yes.
it is our job. But don't lose the creativity side where you're still excited about doing it.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I was gonna ask you this because, like I said, you've had great songs written, and which song for you is the most personal one? That which one is the most personal to you as a songwriter? Because I know, that for example, what I've written, there's some songs I haven't even put out there that they're very, very personal. And I feel like, oh, I don't want to put this out there yet because I need to be ready for it or what have you. But um, for Peter Studillo, what is that song for you that is very, very personal?
Well, to me, for the evident part of it is, I mean, or that what stands out is como te extraño.
Mm-hmm.
Como te extraño is my most personal song because it was a song dedicated to the two most important women in my life at that time, and I lost both of them almost a year apart. I lost my mom in April 11th, 1994, and then I lost Selena March 31st, 1995, almost to the day, and a few days apart. So for that reason alone, writing a song for the two most important women in my life, uh, and the subject matter, what it represents, and that's my most personal song. I mean, it's
Okay.
just obvious for that.
Yes.
And and I think we were going through such a horrible time, all of us as a community, as Latinos, as everyone. And I think our little song brought a little hope to a lot of people, and to me it was therapeutic when we were writing it because we were just letting everything out, and it really almost kind of breathing for a while when we were doing it. But I think as a community, as Latinos, as the Tejano music, the Tejano industry, just the music industry in itself, I think it was kind of uh, we're all in solidarity for the same thing.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
The same pain,
Yeah.
the same thing, and I think our little song, in its own way, helped a little bit. And from that side, but because of that, also it means a lot to me.
And I think it was such a, I think the world grieved for such a long time.
Mhm.
And when you released that song, people were still grieving and they were still in the process of healing, you
Mhm.
know? So I think that it came at the right time too,
Yeah,
because
no,
it
no,
was
and
it was
it
the
helped us.
process.
It helped us navigate through a really hard moment. All of us as a
Right.
unit. I mean, todos juntos. And then at the end, well, not at the end, but as time went on, that song became also a song that people made it personal. It was not. It wasn't about my mom anymore. And Selena Diaz. That was the initial message. And it is still the initial message. But I think a lot of people made it their own song.
Mm-hmm.
and use it for their own personal reasons. And through the years, I've had so many people tell me, when I lost my mom or I lost my grandpa or my grandma, and we hear this song and it would bring us some comfort, and we could relate to it in that way now, as opposed to like when it was put out that it was for Selena and for my mother. So I think that's also the beauty of art, that you make it your own, for your own personal
Right.
for your own personal moment.
And I think those are the type of songs that will stand the test of time, because because the words iconic, and then at the end of the day, humans are grieving all the time,
Yeah.
and for us that love music and are Latinos and work, love Tejano and love music, our Latino singers and songwriters, I think it's easy to just get attached to a song like that, because, as Latinos, Hispanics, we love our family and we are so deeply, connected to them. And what you wrote is basically how we grieve, is like, and you keep missing them. And so I think that song, it's going to go far beyond, probably even many, many decades from now, because as we keep on moving and as Tejano keeps evolving, that song is never left behind. Like that song, everybody that's lost someone has heard that song, and
But that's the beauty of our music, that'll be here way longer than we'll be here. So
yes,
there'll be a little piece of us here always, and
yes,
that's how we leave our little mark,
right.
en este mundo. And I
Hmm.
think that's the beauty of music. It takes you somewhere. It takes you on a journey, and and like 30, 40, hopefully 50 years from now, 100 years from now, somebody will hear that song like, wow, that was my great, 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 you
Right.
know. And, but that's the beauty of music, man, that it transports us, it heals us,
Right.
it makes us fall in love, it makes us, you know, take the pain of a bad relationship a little bit better. But I
Yeah.
think it heals, and I think that's the beauty of music.
Yes,
Right. I am very excited to talk about this new song you have out, and your collaboration with Carol G. But I don't know if Kelly
yes.
has. Do you have
Well,
tacos or something, Kelly? It's already an hour and a half. Like, we are hungry.
well, I'm gonna have tacos. I'm sorry, I don't know. I can't
Oh
mail it to
man.
Mr.
I
P, and I
ordered a
can't mail it to
pizza.
you. They're too far. So unless you guys want to give me your cash, I les mando para que se compren. But
We
no,
accept
yes,
cash apps for sure.
right. So yes, Mr. Pete, this new song has like really opened a lot of open more of what putting the Tejano songwriter with our Latina era of the, like Miss Carol G, right? How did the connection and how did you get in contact with Miss Carol G and her team to do this collab and the writing to it? I'm gonna praise you on it. It's an amazing song, and it's so you could tell it's so Mr. Pete, right?
Oh yeah,
And
it has your signature all over it.
yes, it does. And I mean, we want to know. I know there's so much said, but we want to know how the connection and how it came about to do this,
Well, I'll tell you as much as I can. I mean,
right?
it's really not that long of a story, but I think first and foremost, I think when anyone from a different genre, in this case, Carol G, and of course Edgar Barrera, um,
Yes.
who he is a Tejano, but he's been working with everybody in the world, man. He is an amazing producer, songwriter. But I think anytime that anybody takes an interest in a different genre, it's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing, and we should embrace it. We should appreciate it, and music though is always evolving. Whether it's
Hmm.
Tejano music, whether it's country music, whether it's rock and roll. I always say I mean, I'm a big rocker. I grew up with 70s and stuff. You guys are too young, but the rock of the 70s was not the rock of the 80s, and then the 80s. you had the hair band, and then the 90s, the grunge took over. So that was up on the side. And then in the 2000s, kind of like rock kind of disappeared. Like, what the hell happened? So it's a progression that happens in every style of music. And then somebody does something cool or something that people find it interesting, and it resurges all that attention again to that style of music that was dormant. It never died. It never went away. It just didn't have the peak that it had at a moment. But that happens to every genre of music. It's not just Tejano. It's country. It's rock and roll. It's contemporary, hip hop, whatever you want to call it. So I think anytime that somebody brings attention to a genre, right off the bat, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a positive thing. Let's embrace it. Carol G, for the people that don't know, she's a worldwide phenomena on a stadium tour, but she's a reggaetonera from Colombia, and she's talked about her love for Selena, for the music, for the art Tejano music, that she loves what Selena used to do in the 90s, which is Tejano. What we did. So she's always been a big fan of hers. She's always said that she's loved the music that we were doing back in the day. And then she went on to do a song called Mi Ex Tenía Razón that was written by Edgar Barrera, that was intentionally done in the style of Tejano music, with that Selena feel. And again, she said it, this was the intention. That's what I was going for. It wasn't like subliminal, like, do you hear like Selena tones back? No, that's what she wanted. That's the sound she was going for. You gotta excuse me, but I'm drinking a lot of water because my allergies are horrible.
Yes.
And I'm coming out of a cold. And but so she said that she loves our style, Tejano music. She loves our style, and she's coming from a genre which is doing amazing worldwide. Her, it's the Bad Bunny, Maluma, all these people doing amazing stuff in that genre. And she said, you know what? Let me try something over here. I'm doing it because I love it, and I love Selena, and I have so much respect for her and her music. And I think that's when her and Edgar Barrera started discussing, for this new album, let's do another cumbia. I was not in the picture at all at that time. I think something that they discussed amongst themselves, and it came to the point like, well, maybe we can get somebody from their camp to work with us, and that's when my name came up, and they discussed it. And Edgar, being from Texas, said, you know what? I think I can get a hold of him. It can't be that hard. In the age of social media.
Right.
And bottom line, that's how he first contacted me through social media on Instagram, and sent me a message. I thought it was a joke, especially because in the last couple of years, every time I'm in the Valley, especially, and I'm promoting music. I want to say the last 2 or 3 years that I put out songs, and voy para el Valle a promover, go to the radio station and stuff like that. At the end, they always say, well, Pete, who do you want to work with? Or what are you doing? You got any new stuff besides what we're promoting right now? And I would always, at least 2 or 3 times, I said, you know what? I'd like to work with Edgar Barrera one of these days. So Edgar, if you're listening, give me a call, dude. But I was just joking. I know. And I would just always throw that out. Or Grupo Frontera, si quieren trabajar, dame un telefonazo, give me a call. And I would always say it joking around. So I did it a few times. Maybe I put it out on the universe. I don't know. Maybe I put it out there and it became true because he did send me a message and I thought it was a joke. But I responded and he was incredibly nice and very just saying how much he loved what we did with Selena, the work that I did with AB, with Ricky, the whole band, and that he was just, so proud of the work that we had been doing back then. And of course, I reciprocated, dude, you're doing amazing, dude. You're working with everybody in the world, and congratulations to you. And it was just very así, como si nada. Y nos conocimos así. And well, it was good talking to you. Yeah, it was good talking to you too. Take care. God bless you. Que te vaya bien. Mucho éxito en todo lo que hagas. And then that went on for want to say a month or two, más o menos, and we just kept communicating. And then just it get to the point that he says, "Hey, you know what? Why don't we call me, or I'll call you. You know, here's my phone. Give me a call." I think I told him, "Why don't you call me? Háblame, este mi teléfono." Because I really thought it was a joke. I really thought somebody was just, no, I really did. I really thought somebody was kidding me. And I said, go along with it. What the hell? What else to do?
Right.
So when I said, here's my number, I said, if it's a joke, nobody's going to call me. Because at that point, the joke's over.
Right.
So he calls me, like, well, I guess it's not a joke. And we start talking and, getting to know each other better through the process. And I think we talked once or twice. And then he said, you know what, would you like to do a writing session with me? And I go, dude, I would love to do a writing session with you, man. Because it's not something, and I think I even told you, I don't really do stuff like that very often. I hope it'll be cool because I usually work alone or I work with people that I know very, very well. But no, I told him, yes, I'd love to. Because I'm just saying, I was kind of telling him, don't be surprised if I kind of freak out because I don't work that way typically. But he goes, no, this is, we'll get together. If something comes out, sales y sales y no sales nada. No pasa nada. Very a la ligera. And then we set a date and I went down to the valley and I got to the studio and the rest is kind of history, to be honest with you. And here we are a few months later and I end up with a song on Carol G's album, a song that I wrote with Carol, with Edgar Barrera and myself. And again, it's a song that was intended to be a Tejano cumbia. It wasn't like, and of course, all the production is his production, Edgar Barrera and Carol and the whole todo el equipo que trabajó en ella.
Mm-hmm.
But it was intentional. And I know a lot of people say, well, there's undertones of Selena. Like, well, of course, the songs that they've compared it to, which is Amor Prohibido and Si Una Vez, I co-wrote both those songs with AB. I wrote Amor Prohibido with AB, and I wrote Si Una Vez with AB. So, si hay similitudes, pues it's me. I can't hide who I am. I can't.
Fue a propósito.
Como dice, no puedo negar la cruz de mi parroquia.
Exactamente.
Soy quien soy y ese es mi estilo. Pero a la misma vez, como te digo, she's a huge Selena fan. Edgar también. They spoke that they were very fans of the style of not just Selena, but the style of the 90s cumbia style that was happening at that time, which was a lot of us, it was, Mas and La Mafia. And I mean, there was a lot of great music being created at that time. And they said that they were big fans of it and kind of they wanted to do an homage, not necessarily a tribute, but just well, maybe a little tribute to the music of the 90s, the Tejano music, the Tejano songs of the 90s.
Yes. And for the people that don't know about this song, with your permission, Mr. P, we're going to play it so they can know what we're talking about. And then to the, like I said, you did an amazing, I don't know if you did the arrangements, but the songwriting and collaborating with Edgar, I mean, he's an amazing guy. He's done.
The songwriting collaboration is Carol, Edgar, myself, and the production is done by Edgar.
Okay, so there you go. For the people that know, there you go. A lot of people that want to emphasize and say this and that. Now you know a little bit of the story of it. So I'm going to let you guys hear it so you guys can know about it, and we'll get back with Mr. P.
Pensé decir lo que te diré hoy. Baby, lo que no se cuida no es eterno. Rompiste todas las promesas de este amor y el verano rosa Así como las noches cuando no hay estrellas, el brillo se apaga. Dime por qué lo hiciste. Yo estando enamorada, pensé que era para siempre y estaba equivocada. Así como las nubes que se desvanecen, el amor se acaba. También como una llama cuando cae la lluvia, el fuego se apaga. Desde que me fallaste, ya no queda nada. Queda una historia triste de alguien que te amaba. Lo nuestro no acabó cuando te dije adiós. Con lo que hacía ya te estabas despidiendo. Estar conmigo a solas ya ni te importó. Pa' todos sí, pero pa' mí ya no había tiempo. Así como las flores que un día se marchitan, el amor se acaba. Así como las noches cuando no hay estrellas, el brillo se apaga. Dime por qué lo hiciste. Yo estando enamorada, pensé que era para siempre y estaba equivocada. Así como las nubes que se desvanecen, el amor se acaba. También como una llama cuando cae la lluvia, el fuego se apaga. Desde que me fallaste, ya no queda nada. Pero no te preocupes, que yo no diré nada.
There you go, guys. That was the Carol G. Alguien que te ama. Mr. Pete, like I said, amazing in how you put it together. Que it was a little bit of the songs that were very known back in the day, and she loves Selena. She kept it traditional of what we know of Tejano, and thank you for that, and for everybody that supports the Tejano and keep supporting, guys. I mean, what more can we ask for from our Tejano industry and a pioneer like Mr. Pete Studio getting in this genre with the Latina like Carol G? I mean, embrace it. We gotta embrace things like that. I mean, I know at first we have the feels of, well, how did it come about? This and that. But you know what? If Carol G can embrace us, who else can embrace us? Country. They already doing it, but they do embrace it as well. I mean, there's so many of the genres that are out there that are mixing the Tejano feel and all that stuff, because the Tejano music sound and the lyrics to it, it's so romantic that even people from different countries listen to our music. Not a lot of people know that.
No,
It's so sweet. It's so sweet what we can put out there.
but
And
it's amazing. I'm glad you said that, because we were very well. I'm very lucky that I got to work with Selena back in the day, with Selena Latinos, to work with Ricky, with AB, Suzette, Chris, Joe, with everyone in the band, Mr. Q, and our music, Selena's music, is listened to worldwide. I mean, she's
yes,
we're one of the lucky ones, one of the Tejano bands that you can go to Europe, Mexico, Central, South America. I mean, even in Asia, and you hear our music, it's the Biri Biri Bam Bam and Amor Prohibido and Como la Flor, and it's been sung in different languages. And Selena took us worldwide, and I mean, Selena was a phenomenon. I mean, there's only one Selena, and she did it. The beautiful thing is, we did that back in the 90s, and we're still so blessed that Selena's music is still so relevant today. But to have a new artist like Carol G, who's a worldwide artist right now, with that producer writer like Edgar Barrera, and have this new song right now, her album is number one on Billboard, and finally dethroned Bad Bunny that's been there forever. And this song, along with some of the other songs, were in the top 10 on Billboard. I mean, worldwide. Our little music, our little Tejano music, our style of music, our Tejano style cumbia is being heard around the world as we speak,
Yes.
bringing that much needed attention to our genre.
Mhm.
And maybe those millions of people, millions of kids that love Carol G are gonna say like, "What's this Tejano stuff that they've been talking about? Maybe we should listen." Hey, well, we know Selena already, but hey, check it out. There's Grupo Más, and hey, there's Evelyn Garza, and there's Shelly Lares, and there's Eli La Reina. Hey, these people are cool too. So it brings that attention to all of us. So I think it's a blessing, it's a great thing for genre, but at the same time, the fact that people outside our genre are saying like this is kind of cool. I mean, it brings a whole different market to us, and then we can go into their market, and spread our market. It's always a good thing. It's a positive thing when we bring good things into our market and also expose ourselves. Like I said, right now there's a Tejano cumbia being played around the world, and that's a beautiful thing. And I think we should embrace that, and the fact that she's doing it, and the fact that she has so much love for the style of music and so much love for Selena and the work we did back in the 90s. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And the song is, I mean, the song is connecting big time with a lot of people. And to all those fans that have been embracing it and listening to it, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you to Carol G, Edgar Barrera, and the whole, todo el equipo por la oportunidad
Yes.
que me dieron a mí.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? For it being Carol G, she's finally hitting our younger generations that we're not able to do with our Tejano industry, because a lot of the kids are more listening to that type of genre of music. And for to have somebody like her in her platform to connect to the younger generation is amazing. It's really,
It,
really good.
it really is. And all those Carol G fans, like I said, some of them like might start singing Tejano music or might listening,
Right?
start downloading Tejano music. And it's always a good thing when you bring a positive thing to anything that's good. It's a positive thing. Así que I think it's a good thing. We should embrace it. And who knows? I mean, but look at what Frontera, and I know the whole Frontera thing. They say, Tejanos de Nata. They're Tejanos, man. They're from the valley. They're doing,
Puro
kind of,
956.
yeah, they're 956. They're from the valley. They're Tejanos. The fact that they're doing stuff with Bad Bunny, with Shakira, Maluma, with Fuerza Regida. I mean, that's it. I mean, again, it attracts a very young crowd to our market, which
Right.
is always a good thing. We need new blood to keep the market going, and it's always a good thing to attract new blood to our genre, which is Tejano.
And I think the greatest mistake that we have done as Tejanos is to think that we own the genre, that we own Tejano. And Tejano is owned by the audience, the ones that are listening, the ones that are purchasing the music, the ones that are going and paying, um, these amounts to go see this artist, and that they love the music. I have to say, that Carol G's two of my favorite songs from Carol G will always definitely be Mi Ex Tenía Razón, and now this one.
No, definitely, and they're both cumbias. I mean,
Exactly.
they're both cumbias because we relate to it. But
Right.
obviously, there's a lot of more. There's a lot more. Well, a lot of people forget that cumbia is mundial. There's cumbia from Mexico. There's cumbia from Central and South America. I mean, Argentina. There's a big cumbia
Yes.
movement in
Right.
Argentina.
Right.
Colombia, huge. I mean, a lot of people say that Colombia is where cumbia originated. With the
Right.
Afro-Cuban sounds and stuff like that, percussions and stuff like that. But every country, I mean, I like to watch like the Travel Channel and stuff like that, and they'll go like, we're in somewhere in Europe, and this is the traditional music of this area, and it sounds like a cumbia. I mean, there's always like a little cumbia rhythm anywhere you go. They might call it something different, but cumbia is international.
What I love about this one is that it's got that cumbia rhythm and style, Tejano flavor to it, but it also has very romantic lyrics, like very, and her voice goes so well with the song because, she's really in that pitch where it hits her right perfect, and she's relaxed and she's expressing, and at the same time, it's such, it's perfection when it comes to the collaboration of the words, the lyrics, the music, the production, and her voice. When you get that, I think it's a hit. And we are very, very grateful that as artists, that somebody like you is collaborating with an artist, of her level and her platforms.
No,
But
no,
at the Mhm.
no, no. Trust me, somebody like me is very happy too. I mean, I know, I know where I come from. I know that I was part of Tejano royalty. Selena's the queen of
Mhm.
Tejano. I know that I co-wrote songs like Como la Flor and Amor Prohibido and La Carcacha with Avi, Bidi Bidi Bamba with her. And I know what I've done. That was in the 90s when we did that. The last album, Amor Prohibido, we started recording in 93 into 94. So I know where I come from, and I'm incredibly proud of all of that.
Mhm.
But it feels really cool at the same time that somebody that's doing it now, like a Carol G, and Edgar Barrera, who's kind of like the writer, producer of the moment, comes and asks us and say, hey, would you like to collaborate? You know, we want to do something like what you guys were doing back, and listens to us, something that we did back then, and says we love that and take it into consideration. So it kind of feels cool to come out and play with the new kids. I don't know, because to me they're kids, and
But it's
very,
that's the
very
thing to
talented
me,
kids.
like
Mande?
you are representing, what Tejano it's been for years
Yeah.
and years and years, and you go sit in the table with new artists, with new visions, with new ideas, and you put back, I don't ever say that Carol G is putting Tejano, or is shining the light on Tejano. I think for them to reach out to you, that's what's, really the big thing. The fact that you have been such an iconic artist in Tejano, and you go out there and you represent Tejano, and I think that's my takeaway from that we're very, very proud of you and what you've done, and that this collaboration, what it means to our genre and to just Hispanics around the world, because again, Tejano is not Texas. Tejano is worldwide. And, you have people in California escuchando Tejano. Tienes gente en Monterrey escuchando Tejano.
In el mundo entero, believe it or not, there's
Exacto.
Tejano fans all around the world, and right now our Tejano sound is being heard through si alguien que te amaba, and it's a beautiful thing, man, and I think it's gonna be good for our market. I think it's gonna bring in some youth to our market, which is always great.
Mm-hmm.
But I always say, I know we always talk about the youth. We say, okay, we need more youth, and we do. And we need new energy and new blood, and we do, of course. But we cannot forget también the veteranos. They've been doing it for 30, 40 years. Your Debeli Garzas, your Ram Herreras, your Harry
Yes.
Hobbs, La Mafia. Este, all these bands, they've been doing it for a long time. Even with Signal, they're not that old. I don't want to say they're that old, but so much chavalos, but they've been doing it for a long time. So we always say
Mhm.
we need to support the youth, and we do. But let's also support los veteranos that have been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years, because we all need that support. We all need the support. We all need the love for this market, for this music that we love so much. It's been so good to me. But we need to support all around, just how we support the new generation. Hopefully we will. The new blood. También hay que apoyar a los veteranos que yo saludo, hablando de veteranos, saludo para David Lee Garza y los musicales, my compadre. I recorded a song with him last year. Haces falta tú, and that was a collaboration that I'm very proud of too. It did
Mhm.
really good for us, but we need to support everybody all around, but of course we do need the new blood to keep the industry alive, to keep the music going. definitely need the new blood. And I think something like this with Carol G, with this song, is gonna help us. I'm not gonna say it's gonna save the industry. It's not gonna be the. She's not the savior, you know. But I think it will help. It will help. And
Yeah.
anything that helps is a good thing.
Let's create bridges instead of division, you know?
There you go. I
And
agree
I
with you.
yeah, and I think that's what this song is doing for us in the music industry, you know, it's
Yeah,
creating a bridge. And that's what we want. We don't want to
definitely,
divide.
definitely. And
And
no, and
mhm.
speaking of bridges and now creating division, uh, I wrote a song, put this song out where I wanted to create a bridge amongst a bunch of different artists, and I put this song out last month. Right, actually, my song came out, and then Carol G's song came out, and I wrote a song for Flaco Jimenez. It's
Yes.
called "Goodbye Texas Tornado," and I reached out talking about bridges, creating that the community to a bunch of my old friends, and I invited them to participate in the song. I think Flaco Jimenez, again, going kind of back to the same thing, like how do you how do we have a guy like Flaco Jimenez that did so much for our industry, the conjunto, the tejano, the norteño, country, rock, and then you saw some people like Flaco, what did you do? Like, oh my God, you're killing me!
Right.
He's an icon. He's an incredible man, and that's why I wanted to write the song about him to bring some awareness to our youth again, and to not
Mhm.
forget our past, not to forget our roots, because those guys like Flaco Jimenez and also like Little Joe and Sunny Osuna. I mean, they're the ones that paved the road para nosotros. And
Mhm.
so I wanted to do this tribute to him. Goodbye Texas Tornado, and I invited the Tex Maniacs, two-time Grammy Award winners. I invited my compadre Chris Perez, my brother, and also Louis the singer, a great up-and-coming singer from the Dallas Fort Worth area, who's a
Mhm.
Latino. I mean, and he's same thing. He's bridging the Latino with the country and doing all of it's always a good thing, man, to step out
Absolutely.
of your comfort zone. And on this one, it's something completely different because I've never sang in English before. And this was a song, since it was for Flaco Jimenez and the Tornadoes, we wanted to do it in that style. So we went ahead and did like that Tex-Mex country with a little bit of rock and roll because Chris, and it seems to be picking up some speed. And I mean, really, a lot of people are really a little surprised that we did something like this, and it's just something that came out of my heart. There was no other intention. I said, if I can get a lot of people to listen to it, great. Si nadie la escucha, great. This is something I'm doing from the bottom of my heart for a great man to bring awareness, to educate our raza on who Flaco Jimenez was. And we put our little song, Goodbye Texas Tornado, that's been out for a month now. And the video is out. The song is out on all digital platforms, so go check it out. And let's not
Yes.
forget no, let's not forget our pioneers, los
Yes.
pioneros, the ones, the icons that paved the road for us.
Yes, yes, and we do have it. We do have the song. I'll play it after Lo Despedimos. That'll be like our last song for the night.
And don't
And
forget the video. We got the video too that came out, and we
yes,
did it. We did it in San Antonio at Blue Cat Studios, which is where Flaco recorded a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of history to the song, the people that worked on it, and it was a labor of love. Kind of,
yes.
Mm.
I always try to put my heart into everything I do. I'm really proud of this one. It's very different, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking that it's even getting picked up on some country stations, which is really hard to do.
Yes.
But I guess the subject matter and the style that we did at it, and the video is doing incredibly well. So go check out the video, pick up the song, and read a little bit about Flaco, man. He was an amazing man.
Yes, he
Us.
he sure was. I'm a big fan of him. My father is the one that introduced me to Flaco, and I have the CDs from back in the day when he was with the Texas Tornadoes, all that. And I mean, I do have his history. I mean, como les digo, not a lot of people know. If you're not in our how Pete says, he says we're young, but no, we know all that because of the history, because of our parents. We're able to connect with that with genre of the years of those years. So yes, we for the ones that don't know, I will be putting a song of Goodbye Texas. Ms. Brenda, you want to say anything to Mr. Pete before we say goodnight?
Well, just that, you know, we're incredibly grateful for your life, for what you contributed to music and Tejano and what you're doing now. And I the very first time that I heard that you were involved in it, it just filled my heart with joy and pride because you're finally getting recognized for what you've done all these years and what you've contributed, and that special sound that Peter Studillo has, that brought Selena, that flavor of cumbia, and to hear it in a with a very new song, new generation, and just like I said, creating bridges, with those listeners of Carol G. It's something to be very proud for, and we are immensely grateful that you said yes.
So am I.
So yes, Mr. P, like Brenda said, I mean, us Tejanos are really, really appreciative of what you're able to do and what you've done throughout the 30, 40 years you said that you've been in the industry. And still till this day, you have not lost what the sound of the Tejano is from our keys. I mean, I think your signature is either keyboard, some flavor, something like that. I cannot pinpoint what it is. It's just something you have that takes us back to our you know youth from then, and you're still doing what you're doing. You haven't lost your step of anything. I mean, your songwriting, I mean, the more we grow, the more there's different words you can use, but you're staying true to that, to who Pete was when he started and what he's doing now. And the Tejano industry is really grateful for you. I'm grateful for even having you, because you're like you are an icon. Not a lot of people want to say it, but you are, because you've been in the industry and you've written so many songs. I think somebody in the our fans asked, you even co-wrote or wrote Fantasia for
Oh
Cumbia
yeah,
Fantasia by Stephanie Montiel.
yeah. But that was for Stephanie. Yeah, and I've,
Yes.
I've been I've been incredibly blessed to do what I do. I've been doing it for 40 years. I don't even believe my life sometimes. I come from extremely humble beginnings, and to say I went from the fields to washing dishes to sharing the stage with Selena, writing songs with Avi and Ricky and Selena herself, sharing some of the biggest stages in the world, to go on to have a solo career. I wrote for the Cumbia Kings with Avi Quintanilla, Veronica Castro, Thalia, Olga Tañón, Banda MS, Lefty
Wow.
SM. I mean, I was in a movie with Jennifer Lopez. I mean, like Jesus Christ. I mean,
Yes.
and my life has been incredible in so many ways, and I'm so grateful to God that I've been able to do what I do. I'm grateful to my family because it's because of them that I'm here, and I really don't have words to say thank you, because I don't even believe it, and still here I am on a song now with this new artist, with Carol G and Edgar Barrera, and it's almost surreal. It really is. I mean, 'cause I if you would if somebody would put my life down on paper and give it to somebody, like, that's not gonna happen. That's crazy, and because it really has been a crazy ride. I've enjoyed every second of it. I'm grateful to the fans for 40 years of putting up with me. Hopefully, I got some left in me. And speaking of years left, I would be I would hate myself if I said, Dolly Parton, we lost an icon today,
Yes.
and it broke my heart. I loved her so much for what she stood for, her
Yes.
talent, she was genius, the
Yeah.
music, everything, and then the kindness of the woman.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's it. I mean, that's how can somebody be so good, so incredible, and then be so kind?
Mhm.
Yes.
All the Dolly fans, may she rest in
Yes.
peace. And
Yes.
like I said, I'm just grateful from the bottom of my heart for 40 years that you guys have been putting up with me. Is to put up with me a little bit more. We got a couple of singles coming out before the year's over.
Let's go for it.
Ya están listas ahí, están in the back burner.
In the oven.
After we finish the promo for a Texas Tornado, we're gonna be putting out probably by the end of September a cumbia, going back to my roots. and we're gonna close out this year with another one. And we got a couple of surprises next year, but it's been great, man. It's been really, really, really good. And thank you to the fans por darme tanto cariño por tantos años. Te los agradezco de corazón.
Yes, definitely, definitely. To our listeners, everybody that was listening on, we were on all three different platforms, which was Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm not sure if we were on our live app as well. To everybody that tuned in, commented, said what's up, how you been, Pete, to us, to myself and Brenda, Mr. Pete. From here, from us, from Serious Tejano, we thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for doing this. To Mr. Rosales, thank you, Mr. Rosales, for
Lupe,
Mr. Lupe.
Lupito Rosales.
Lupito.
And
I got a video of him driving in San Antonio. I was riding with him, and oh boy, you better know how to pray.
yeah, he's a bit of a menace. Lupito Rosales, un abrazo. Thank you, bro, for always
Sí.
helping me out. And also, everybody, if you want to follow me and what's going on Pete Astudillo Instagram, Pete Astudillo Official. And you know what? A lot of people have been asking me. I'm going to say it really quick. They've asking me about my TikTok account. I do not have a TikTok account. So if you follow me on TikTok, that's not my real account. So I'm going to be opening one up this week.
Yes.
Because a lot of people have been asking me. So I guess there's a couple of fake ones out there.
Yes.
They're not mine.
I got one. That's why I was like, this is not.
When I get mine up, hopefully by the end of this week, hopefully it'll be the official one. So be looking out. But in the meantime, Pita Studio Instagram, and I'll keep you posted on what we're doing. Our latest single, Goodbye Texas Tornado, out right now. Go pick it up right now. When this is over, go check out the video. Everybody looks. I mean, it came out so cool. I really do love the video, so se lo recomiendo. Go check it out. If you've seen it, go see it again. And of course, Alguien que te amaba, the latest collaboration between Carol G, Edgar Barrera y un servidor. Gracias por el cariño. And mi raza, let's keep it positive. Let's move forward.
All love.
Let's just be good to each other, be kind to each other, and let's move forward. Let's move forward and just be kind. Be kind. Diosito los bendiga y que sigan los éxitos.
So, Pete, my last question. Then that means that the private message on TikTok of you coming to the valley and taking me to tacos was not you?
It wasn't me, but if I do go to the valley, I will take you out for some tacos.
Ándale. But
You got it.
Yes, guys. So we're gonna listen to Goodbye Texas Tornado. Then me and Brenda will come back, and then lo despedimos de la noche. So, Mr. Pete, thank you. God bless you, and stay humble always, sir.
Yes, thank you,
God bless
thank
you
you,
guys.
thank
Take
you.
care.
We appreciate you so much. And
Likewise, thank you.
go listen to him, follow him, and let's support our geniuses of Tejano.
Yes. So here's Goodbye Texas Tornado.
From the streets of San Antonio, through the door of Rolling Stone, in cantinas and honky tonks, he gave his heart, he shared his soul. El flaco nos entregó el cuerpo y alma I could play the heaven side. Your music took us way beyond the border of the Rio Grande. Goodbye, Texas tornado. Adios, accordion king. Thank you for all the memories. Long live the legacy. Goodbye, Texas tornado. Adios, accordion king. Vaya con Dios, mi amigo. Vaya con Dios hasta el fin. Goodbye, Texas tornado. Adios, accordion king. And thank you for all of the memories. And long live your legacy. Goodbye, Texas tornado. Adios, accordion king. Vaya con Dios, mi amigo. Vaya con Dios, music man. Y vaya con Dios, mi amigo. Vaya con Dios hasta el fin. Vaya con Dios, mi amigo. Vaya con Dios, my old friend.
So yes, guys, that was Goodbye Texas Tornado. What a great song. So many amazing musicians on that video. Again, guys, thank you so much for being here with Serious Tejano. Miss Brenda, thank you so much for tuning in. I mean, not tuning in, but being here with us. I mean, that was like the longest interview I've had. But you know what? We made this interview amazing because he has a lot of knowledge. He had a lot of history. I mean, there's some stuff I didn't know about Mr. Pete, and I was, what's he said? I learned while we were doing this interview with him.
Absolutely. It was, again, we that create music, that love music, that have been, fans of music, we should be really proud of what he has accomplished, and at the end of the day, the fact that he's there, in this platform right now with Carol G and this song and number one in billboards, nothing else but be proud of it.
Yes, definitely. And again, guys, to everybody that tuned in, connected, shared it, loved it, asked questions, thank you so much to being here with us in Serious Tejano. Tomorrow, we're going to have an amazing show, guys. You guys are going to be very, very surprised of what we have in store tomorrow. We are going to have the hottest conjunto band, conjunto norteño, cumbia, name it, they put it out. Our Los Arcos Hermanos Peña will be here tomorrow. It's going to be an amazing, amazing show. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you locked in the date, the time. It'll be at 7 p.m. We'll be here. You never know who might show up and what interesting surprises we might have. So thank you guys for this beautiful night. Again, Brenda, thank you, amiga. Thank you so much for being here. As y'all can see, I was nervous porque pues, it's Pete Astudillo, right? Like, damn, right? But yes, again, thank you. You guys have an amazing night. Saludos y los despedimos here from Serious Tejano. I'm going to go ahead and put the amazing Como Te Extraño song, the iconic song from Mr. Pete. And we'll catch you the next time. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye. Thank you for the invite, Kelly.
Yes.
Bye.
Hola, pa, ¿cómo está?
Muy bien, hijo. ¿Y a ti cómo te fue?
¿Todo bien, pa? ¿Usted qué hace?
Mirando aquí una foto de tu mamacita. Mira, aquí estás con ella.
te extraño. Vives en mi pensamiento, quiero verte y no te tengo. Este adiós quema por dentro, nada me consuela el corazón. Como te extraño, como te extraño. Nunca te olvidaré. Que no daría por mirarme en el reflejo de tus ojos. Creo oír tu voz y me pongo a llorar como un niño. Como te extraño. Qué difícil es decirte adiós, como te extraño. ¿Quién me hará reír como lo hacías tú? Como te extraño. Vives en mi pensamiento, quiero verte y no te tengo. Este adiós quema por dentro, nada me consuela el corazón. Como te extraño, como te extraño. Nunca te olvidaré. ¿Quién no daría por mirarme en el reflejo de tus ojos? Creo oír tu voz y me pongo a llorar como un niño. Como te extraño. Vives en mi pensamiento, quiero verte y no te tengo. Este adiós quema por dentro, nada me consuela el corazón. Como te extraño, como te extraño. Nunca te olvidaré. Que no daría por mirarme en el reflejo de tus ojos. Creo oír tu voz y me pongo a llorar como un niño. Como te extraño. Como te extraño. Como te extraño.